Hi guys, Sohini here. Today I'd like to talk about eating disorders and people that do not have a healthy relationship with food and that are not categorized in the classic 4 eating disorders, which are anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, and orthorexia. Orthorexia is people having fear of not being able to eat healthy food. So coming from a personal experience of many years of having an eating disorder, I understand the physical and emotional aspect that really damages and limits an individual. And having come out of that, thank goodness, I don't know how I'm sitting here today saying that, but it is possible. And it is possible to completely free yourself. Now, having friends, having clients, or just observing people in general in the public, I realize there's a lot of things going on and a lot of hang-ups around food, and that do not fall under the 4 categories mentioned previously. And the thing is that these associations with food, these attachments or lack of attachments towards food is damaging and limiting to these people, to you. And that's why I really am talking about this today. It's the people that have fear about eating. It's the people that have guilt around eating. It's the people that have anger and irritation about eating. It's people that are constantly thinking about food. Or it's people that really ignore or negate the whole experience and sacredness of food altogether. And not really appreciating what food is and what it really does for us. So there's these 2 things that I'd like to talk about. And people are in today's society are just, not only are they living this very busy and hectic lifestyle, and they don't realize how food needs to come into their lives in a relaxed way and to nourish them. And in order to do that, you need to really be at peace so you can take in and receive those nutrients and your body accepts it, and so on and so forth. And that's not happening. And it's not happening, A, because one maybe does not have that knowledge and it wasn't taught to them. And the other aspect is that people are associating food with their emotions. So they're looking as food as an enemy, and so they're restricting their food quantity. They're restricting the types of food that they can eat, or they overindulge in food, and they don't look at the other food that they should be eating. So there's a lot of things going on, and I really want to bring this to your attention because I see a lot of these hang-ups mentally around food that I actually dealt with every single day, and they are having them. It's the same thing, except they're not throwing up, or except that they're eating, but it's the same thing. And the body does not really, in the end, is not really accepting the food. It's not really accepting the nourishment. And these people it's not something that's just, a once in a blue moon. We're talking about people that experience this level of anxiety every day. We have to eat 3 times a day, so that those thoughts have to come up at least 3 times a day, and you know who you are. So it's people that maybe are having subtle things going on. For example, they're not eating breakfast and they're just grazing at lunch, and then they come home after a long day of feeling distracted, and then when they're home they have a void, and so they overeat, and then they don't feel good, and their digestion's off. That then hence their sleep is going to be disturbed, and then in the morning their elimination process is going to be as well. All of these things physiologically are tying into the mental state, the emotional state. And it's natural to link food to emotions. When we were born, our first bond was with an individual and with food. That's the first thing. So it's not, you know, weird. It's very common knowledge and a no-brainer. But we really, in today's society, with all the media and magazines and all this stuff, it's food is bad, and you need to limit it, and you need to do this, and you need to do that, and the culture of it is all wrong. It's like, so the fact of the matter is that controlling your food, restricting your food, is controlling other aspects in your life. If you control your food, you're controlling your laughter. If you're controlling your expressions, then you're controlling the way you are intimately with your partner, basically. If you, it's all tied in, and it's not a way to live. It's not a way to live. It's really debilitating. And I think that one should start by making conscious decisions by asking conscious questions. Am I hungry? Do I need this? Why am I going for the cookie when I can go for something healthier? It's not about the food. Eating disorder has nothing to do with food. You can eat the healthiest amount of food that you want, but when you're having a disorder, it all ties into that. I mean, eating good food when you're trying to recover from it is the way to go. It's going to give you strength in order to face and overcome your issue, right? Because problems are going to exist till the day we die. We're never going to be free of problems. But there's one thing facing a problem healthy, and there's one thing facing a problem unhealthy. And the thing is that accepting your anxiety around food, accepting your irritation around food, or your guilt around food, just because you are not having a classic eating disorder, is wrong thinking. Because it's the little things that make humongous differences long term in the end. So you really need to take a good look at how you relate to food and try to change that. If you're in a supermarket and you see free cookies and chips, are you the one to always get one? Why? Are you hungry? Probably not. And those things are empty calories anyway. They're just fulfilling a desire, a numbness, a need. And that's where you need to go in, ask the question, and say, no, I don't need it. Because really you don't. I mean, you're not going to die because you didn't have that chip. You're not surviving. We're not, hunting and gathering anymore. We have plenty of food in the refrigerator at home. And I'm not trying to be so black and white. Have a cookie once in a while when it's free, whatever. That's not the point. It's when it's obsessive, when there's the intention behind that and the energy behind that is coming from a different place, a place of need, of a place of void, of emptiness, of underlining sadness, or whatever it is that's going on. Because that's that's where liberation can come, is when you really understand those underlying issues of what you're doing when you're making those choices. And life is not meant to be constantly suffering psychologically. And all of these stem from that, from our emotional baggage that we carry around. And a cookie and a drink is not going to cut it. It's just going to numb it. And we all know that by now. All these addictions are all the same side of the coin. So, I just wanted to make this video basically to bring to the attention that these little hang-ups every single day are very important for your health. And that making that first conscious step, because how I healed took a long time. Okay? 10 years of an eating disorder takes a pretty long time to heal. It didn't take 10 years, but it took a little bit longer than 5. And it's not to think about, oh, that's overwhelming. You take one step at a time, and it's your body processes what it can where you are. And one of the biggest things that helped me was really asking consciously myself why I was doing certain things, and to really check in with myself. And many people don't want to hear it, and that's one of the deterrents of not making those changes. But you're gonna have to cry. You're gonna have to go into those dark spaces, because no one else is gonna do it for you, and no one else can. But it is possible, and you don't cry every single day for the rest of your life, believe me. But you're gonna have to go through that, but that's life. And when you overcome it, it's just liberating. And that's what we want, is to be free. We want to be free of this control, because we control our food, we control all other aspects of our life. Because we're fanatical about this types of control. Then we control how we laugh. We don't laugh so hearty. We don't have intimate relationships so intensely and passionately and with totality, because we're always controlling ourselves. We're always, composing ourselves and poising ourselves in what is right, not to be judged, not to be criticized. And we are our own worst enemy. But you have to ask yourself, and quite frankly, in the end, these self-criticisms and self-judgments are coming from the external, but we accepted them as being real and being true, when in reality they're not. But I feel like I'm rambling now, but I hope this was in some way helpful. And if you have any questions or you want to make any comments, please do not hesitate to contact me. You can find my email on my website, which is sohinilivewell.com. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.